have grown up on this, listening to this, that how lucky we are as Indians to have this Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb. Now you come with this very uncomfortable truth, which tries to shatter, I don't know whether it has shattered it or not, this fiction which you call.
Right.
So please explain to me what this is about.
So during the course of my research for this book, I went through a huge learning curve. My preconceived notions about the so-called independent movement around that particular period, its leaders, everything changed. The first thing that I realized is that this composite creature called the Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb is a relatively new construct in our public discourse, and which can at best be traced to the period between 1916 and 1923, and not before nor after. Because you see, until 1916, this much was very clear, that while the Congress of that particular period wanted to project itself as the big tent of all sorts of ideas, as long as it was, let's say, seeking some kind of a home rule or autonomous governance for Indians, staying within the realm of, let's say, the empire, the colonial empire, so to speak, the Muslim identity was crystal clear. I'd say largely clear, that I don't think the twain can meet. And one of the foremost persons to make this point was Sir Syed Ahmad, because most people assume that it is the creation of the Congress which led to his own views on the two-nation theory. But the fact of the matter is, those views preceded the creation of the Congress by at least 50 years, thanks to his own education in certain seminaries. I've mentioned all those facts. Second, 1924 also turned out to be one of those years which translated into severe introspection on the part of several Indian leaders, because they realized that in the process of supporting the Khilafat movement, and the non-cooperation effectively was meant to further the cause of Khilafat, it was not meant for Indian independence. That much is very clear. Nobody can make that statement whatsoever, because I've quoted Congress proceedings, I've quoted Muslim League proceedings. This is a myth that needs to be busted, and I think I've done that. When you see that, two things happened. One set of leaders from within the Congress effectively realized that they had created a dragon, which was going to be difficult to rein in. And this dragon always, or rather they hadn't created a dragon, they had revived a dragon.
What is this dragon?
This is the dragon that believes in the two-nation theory.
Oh, okay.
This is the dragon that led to the creation of Pakistan, which was always waiting for an opportunity to present itself, to reassert itself, so that the Persham can be, let's say, resuscitated, so to speak, in Bharat. And the Khilafat movement, coupled with the cooperation of the Congress under Gandhi, or even before that by Tilak and others, had given them that opportunity. From 24 to 46, you're looking at the movement towards the creation of Pakistan and the crystallization of the idea of Pakistan and the reality of Pakistan. I would only ask, what Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb? That's one. Because by 1946, the elections make it abundantly clear that the majority of the Muslim population had voted for the creation of Pakistan. And therefore, everybody who chose to stayed back for reasons of pragmatism and practicality, but not for patriotism, is a position I've already taken. Because you've already cast your ballot at, let's say you vote at the ballot, clearly with respect to a particular idea and its fructification. So, can there be a clearer statement of intent and position? I don't think so. That's one. Now, I would then say that post-independence, the deification of this particular composite creature must be laid at the doors of the distortion of history, helmed under Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and the Marxist Nehruvian coterie of historians that he put together, which actively sidelined people like R.C. Majumdar and others. And then also to this particular cabal, I would call the IPTA, the theatre movement.
IPTA, yes.
IPTA, which had a lot of Marxist Muslims. I think Mr. Kaifi Azmi was also part of this, and Balraj Sahani and all these people were part of it. And then I think Bollywood starts playing a huge role in creating this. So we are told that Muhammad Rafi sang bhajans, and then we are told that Naushad set music for some of these bhajans, and that...
They did, no?
Of course they did. I'd say I'm not going to let a bhajan effectively come in the way of my larger picture of what happened in history. That is something I'm not going to buy that.
Sai, if I may interrupt, you said it's in the 20th century, right?
Right.
That this Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb.
Correct.
And there's no reference earlier, maybe not the term.
Right.
But tell me, the sentiment didn't agree. Suppose it didn't exist. Suppose we
Right.
were to just look back at, say, Akbar and Dine Ilahi.
Right.
You've written about that in your book.
Right.
You've gone into great depths about that.
Right.
But I'm just asking you, because most people who've grown up think that, okay, there was this syncretic culture which was there, especially in the Ganga area.
Right. The